It's been a while since I played this on stream. Probably like a solid month. Let's see, when was the last time that I streamed this out of curiosity? Let's see here. If I go back a whole bunch, would it have been before July? Would it have been before the 24-hour cherry stream there? Yeah, so I think the last time I streamed this game, wow, if I switch to the right layout here, would have been then... What day was this? June 27th? Was it stream 11? Is this stream 12? I don't even know. I mean, I can open up a folder, and but it's going to be on the other monitor. It's not that important to know. It's been a hot second streaming this game. Oh, I don't yet be on the Aspen Film sponsored free-for-all layout anymore. I can just be like here. Or here. I think this is what I usually use here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So, we are live from Fragapalooza 2024. This is the second year back to fully in person because COVID had it online for a good while. I want to play a little bit of all my playthrough games while I'm here. I did end up grinding up a lot of support. Oh, it's not actually going to tell me that. It was just telling me from doing this here once. Since the last time I streamed this game, I got everyone recruited and I wanted to get my final build put together. And I do have my final build put together now. But I did this several weeks ago, and I don't remember what exactly these final builds were. So let's go through them and kind of learn them here, because I wanted to wait until Fragapalooza to do it. Because I imagine there will be 2 streams left, this one and the next one, plus whatever post-game stuff there is. Because I just want to do, like, the liberation battles here, and I want to do all that before I do, like, the final boss, because it's, whoa, I'm feeling the input delay that people were talking about with wireless controllers, probably because all the signals and Bluetooth stuff going on around here. Because there really isn't anything else. There's S supporting somebody that I can just do next stream to use Fire Emblem terms. Because I don't know who it's going to be yet. Actually, no, wait. I think I determined it when I was, like, figuring out my final builds. Except I don't remember who it is. I think whoever I was planning on giving it to currently has the Ring of the Maiden. But I honestly don't remember who I thought would be good to give it to. So I'll find out as I go through stuff here. But yeah, I figured, hey, I want to stream a little bit of all my playthrough games at Fragapalooza, so let's just save these liberation battles. So even though I've had my final build ready for a while, I just haven't played this game for a hot second here, because I wanted to stream it at the really cool, massive venue here, where we're doing a whole bunch of stuff. So we did a little bit of Metroid Prime 2, and then I needed to have a power nap because I was running on like 3 hours of sleep, and now I feel like I have a lot more energy. I should be able to stay awake until the Smash Free-for-All tournament that I'm hosting in about 5 hours. Yeah, it looks like here. And oh, there. Tinker around with stuff over there, and that camera's breaking. I'm just gonna turn it off for now. That's what I think I'm gonna do. So yeah, after doing some Smash Free-for-All stuff just in a little group here, I was like, hey, let's just play some Unicorn Overlord. Maybe I'll do a bunch of rapport conversations next time, because this is a nice game to just like chill with and I have fun with. So what were my builds that I made here? This, I kept the same 3 in the front. I did dig up like other treasure if I hadn't done that before the last time, like Dream Crown here for like all stats +5, AP +1. So this sucks right now, but it'll be really good when I go and support somebody. So whoops. Oh, I was switching people. I was like, did I just switch my equipment? So, and I buffed that up, so I get an extra PP. And this gives me 1 extra of each. I think this is just an all stats +5 and base AP +1. And then it's base PP +1 for the Ring of the Maiden and all stats +5. So he'll get to all the, whoa, why did my computer not like that? He'll get to 4 AP, 4 PP will be the case, which will be pretty nice. And then this is just what I have here. Debuff immunity. We're pretty strong in the front here, is the case. And in the back, it's just like, hey, let's punish people for attacking our front row. And then here's someone to just like finish off the foes. I don't think we care all that much about the HP -30. I mean, if I have another Carnelian Axe, why don't I just use that? I'm using that, because I guess I didn't give this Carnelian Axe to anyone else there. So yeah, that's basically what's going on with this squad. This squad hasn't really changed all that much. It's just the Yana, the Lido squad. That's basically the same. This is basically the same, just changing out some equipment and upgrading things. This has changed a little bit here. I decided rather than going for a Dragoon Dive, let's just go for 2 Fire Breaths. So Yeah, we're not using Dragon's Roar. We're having a different thingamabob. We're having Hastened Heal is the default thing. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Yeah, so it's just that then. Even though Dragon's Roar is pretty good, the idea is I can switch this on and switch that off when I need to. But otherwise, use Hawkeye here to make the user's next attack a true strike and guaranteed critical. So Fire Breath will attack a row of enemies and inflict burn, which is really nice. So I have a Ruby Pendant on her, so we can just do it twice, so we have 4 AP. Good Blizzard. Then we can get this for both. So we get like 2 Fire Breaths that have Hawkeye effect. And then that's going to be buffed up even more by the fact that I gave Sanachio here inspiration for some support to do flying back row to make sure that he's just using it on Hilda. Because that is going to make plus 3% effect, plus 30% attack, plus 50% critical damage, and minus 50 accuracy. But we don't care about the accuracy because this is a true strike. And now that it's also a guaranteed critical, that means that we are always going to be capitalizing on that plus 50 critical damage, is the case. I'll take you around with stuff over there. Then, yeah. That's meant to be my player cam later for Smash tournaments. So, yeah, just hitting it like a truck. This is just, hey, we have a whole bunch of row stuff. Here's some column coverage. And then here's just tanking in the front, defending our flying allies, because we have a bunch of flying allies in this squad, so we can do arrow cover. And this is, oh, people are going to attack us? Let's go ahead and Shining Light here, just to blind them once here. Just to let us set up for, not Dragoon Dive, but a whole bunch of row attacks and, like, wrecking stuff. So that's what's going on there. This squad over here is pretty much the same as it was before. I still have the same setup here. I have Albin in the front with some things that will help him survive here a little bit. This gives him some extra guard rate with the axe. More accuracy, Warrior's Medallion. But yeah, this is still the more art attacks first with Grand Smash. I've changed it to Thunderbrand Tome because I wanted the, was it the Fire one elsewhere? Or I don't know, I have things assigned like all sorts of places. I can always change it over to the Fire one or whatever I want there, I think. So yeah, I still have basically the same setup there. A lot of these squads have just stayed basically the same. Like this is basically the same. I have this set to Frost. This works pretty much the same, just changing out like some of the equipment. And I put Ramona in here so I can fly, provide healing assist. I could already fly like this. I would like to restore infantry front row so that Berengaria can just keep on doing this and keep on doing these to just keep on stacking up her damage more and more and more. And it looks like I put Gambler's Coin on her for infantry front row. Because, do I have something that's boosting my accuracy? Oh yeah, it was the, this is what I was doing. So, if they need healing, go for healing. If there's caster enemies present, do that and then, like, not take as much magic damage. But if not, let's use Night Vision. So grants a row of allies plus 50 accuracy. At night it makes it a true strike. Let's just assume that it's not going to be nighttime though. But plus 50 accuracy. This is minus 50 accuracy. It cancels itself out, so I just get like free damage on top of that. Howdy. What? Was the idea behind that. I'm doing Tailwind and stuff here to be able to pop this stuff early. Yeah, I have a little bit of input delay sometimes. So, that's what's going on there. This squad, basically the same. I don't really see much issues with the squad. The squad is amazing. Yeah. My camera, this is on the stage over there. I'm gonna need to replace this camera after this event, I think, because it's been giving me a lot of issues. So like this squad still works great. I don't really have much complaints about it. So yeah, that works pretty good. This squad has undergone some changes. I still have these two working together in the front and doing some poison things. I mean, I do wonder if I should just be power bolting rather than toxic bolting. No, not power bolt, heavy bolt is maybe what I should do. Well, I mean, that's basically what's going on here, is you have 3 AP with the current setup, with Carnelian and the Ancient Crown, because I was like, hey, you can benefit from the all stats plus 5, you can benefit from the defensive stuff when you're in the front. So, she uses Toxic Bolt once, which will help set up Dinah that has 4 AP with this current setup. So hopefully set up to be able to hit some more poison foes and get some extra damage off of that. And then after the first Toxic Bolt, she'll use a Heavy Bolt on someone if there's enough HP. Otherwise, just use like a Power Bolt and attack a single enemy a couple times. Is the idea behind that. Still using Grand Barris because I want you to be shielding a whole bunch of amazing stuff like debuffs that you don't have to worry about anymore. And Kingsbow Bastarix, so you just have all stats plus 10 and full debuff immunity. So you are kind of in a very, very strong state. On Dinah here, I have this spear because it gives an extra AP and initiative and evasion, and she likes evasion considering dodge tank. So here's more dodge tank things, immunity to those things. This is just the thing that she came with, and then a Carnelian to bring her up to 4. Hopefully, if there's a true strike, then Liza, whatever her name is, can cover her. And I knew I wanted to give this combo, these two, to some team. I wasn't sure which, and eventually it ended up being this team. So I gave him the Kingstaff Albior, a couple of each of these things, so that he can use Thunder Strike 2 times, because he has 3 AP, and Concentrate will give him another one. And I have this set up so that he should use Concentrate once and Magic Counter once, is the way this logic should work. Because if he's at 2 or 3 PP, then he can use Concentrate. If he's at 3 PP, then that means like, hey, he can use Magic Counter and still be able to use Concentrate. And if he's at 1 PP, then may as well just use the Magic Counter, is the idea there. There is also the Magic Pursuit, but like Magic Counter is just better here, especially considering the, after enemy attacks with an active skill, it doesn't even need to land. And that just does more damage, so it's like, why not just do that one there? So, whoa. I'm not going for poison build here anymore. I'm just going for raw damage, and I think that should work pretty well. I'm using Dustbound Staff, so everyone's gonna be just misting in general at first. And then, yeah, it's basically just like use Sorcerer's Connection before enemy ally use a magic attack. Why do I have this set to lowest? Oh, probably because she kept on doing it to Rosalind, and I was testing this out. I was like, no, that's not who I want Sorcerer's Connection to go on to. So the ally with the least physical defense is out here, so now that goes to him. And then otherwise, just like quick barrier, if just in case here, like in case something not so great is going on here. And then Rosalind is here, so she's the one with the activated Star Battle skill in this squad to attack the row with the most combatants. I give her the King's Lance Elhal because it is clearly intended for someone that's attacking with physical and magical, considering its stats there. So I was like, okay, I basically have to give it to Rosalind or Eltolind. So I decided to give it to Rosalind as the one that's a bit more offensive. Gave her a Lapis to bring her up to 3 PP and a Ruby to bring her up to 4 AP, so that she can just use like a whole bunch of stuff. So like, we have an amazing physical tank that's also doing a lot of damage, an amazing dodge tank that's also doing a lot of damage, and then just like crazy magic damage, and then support here as well to just make it so like their first actions they're probably not going to be hitting. And if things are in a little bit of a sketchy situation, we can just barrier that for our other passive point and make things a little bit safer while also having like a slight heal here. I don't have like a dedicated healer that can just heal on command. The hope is that across Curing Heal and this for activating at the end of battle, we just shouldn't be eating too much damage and we should be able to heal this. There's also aid cover to be healing when we give cover if need be. And hopefully we're just not taking all that much damage there. So it should be pretty good. This squad is kind of interesting. So I think it was like a month ago, something like that, that I was looking up what some interesting builds could be with Amalia. And one person was like, oh, do a Dancer's Delight build to use Leaping Slash over and over and over again. I was like, okay, I'm going to take that idea and I'm going to expand upon it. Because Dancer's Delight here, what that does is it has Leaping Slash, attack a single enemy, grants a user plus 1 AP if the attack is critical, but it grants you a minus 30% critical rate. Like, so it immediately debuffs you. And the idea is you could give it to like a Sword Master with a high crit rate, but like, it's not really going to be doing that much damage. Leaping Slash on like a Sword Master has pretty low physical attack. But Amalia has 86. You can see her crit rate is 0% right now, but that doesn't actually matter all that much because we have Chloe here that is going to use, she's only going to use Eagle Eye if there's scout enemies present, so like I'm struggling to hit them. Keen Call, do it on the ally with the highest physical attack as long as you have 2 PP or more, because I want to save the last PP to be able to use on what's her face here, Galadmir, to be able to heal everyone at the end is my idea. So essentially on the very first move here, we are going to use Penetrate. We have 4 AP, and it's like, hey, let's just go for that and do like big damage to a column first and foremost, while my other allies are doing things to do a whole bunch of damage. And then Leaping Slash is basically just to clean up a whole bunch. And then when we're down to our last AP, then we use Heavy Slash. Because we're going to use Keen Call multiple times. We have 4 PP here, so we can make it a guaranteed crit 4 times, and I just let it be a guaranteed crit on Penetrate as well, just because, hey, that's a column that we're getting a guaranteed crit on while inflicting defense minus 30, and yeah, that's gonna hurt a decent bit there. So we start with Penetrate for a crit, and then we just use Leaping Slash a whole bunch of times over and over again. And we also gain some AP here because Druid's Robes. This gives us Cursed Impetus. Activates after the user is debuffed, grants the user plus 1 AP. This is a debuff, grants the user minus 30% crit rate. So we are going to use 2 of our AP at the beginning of battle. So we go from 4 to 2. Then on our next attack, we go from 2 to 1. And then immediately we get another one back. So we go back to 2. And then we go to 3 because Cursed Impetus. If we really need to, we can use Heavy Guard or Hawkeye if it's like a situation that we really need to here. But generally, I just want a whole bunch of Cursed Impetus to just keep on doing Leaping Slash over and over and over again. So I have it set for when AP is 2 or more. And we know that once our AP has gone down to 1, like the cycle is broken. There's no more point going for Leaping Slash, so we may as well go for Heavy Slash at that point and just do some more damage. And to do a build like this, you do want it to be on someone that's going to survive for a long time, or you want it to generally be on a squad that's going to survive for a long time. Because it's not like you can just do the death by 1,000 cuts like immediately at the start of battle. So you're going to want this to be a squad that lives and then does 1,000 cuts on your foes. So I was like, all right, let's make this a super defensive squad. So I gave Virginia to this squad so that she can use Iron Veil, grants plus 50% guard rate and plus 30% physical defense to all allies. That's amazing survivability, but we're still weak to magic. That's why Fedokia is here, so he can reflect magic if the situation calls for it, and just not have us need to worry all that much about physical attacks or magical attacks. He also has a Phantom Knight sword just for different coverage. Like, I could give him something more physically based since he is more physically than magically based. But like, we have so much physical damage covered here that like, why would I really need him to do that? We're gonna do like 1,000 cuts with Amalia, so who even cares? So just in case there's someone that is like really tanky there, we can do Phantom Attack. Plus his AP skills that are built in aren't that great, so I wanted to give him a sword that has something different. So grants allies in the user's role plus 50% magic defense. We'll do that if there's caster enemies present. Impulse, attack a single enemy, inflicts magic defense by 50 to ground-based targets. This isn't a very magical-based squad. Doesn't really matter all that much. A Mystic Shield grants the user plus 50% magic defense and plus 2 PP. I did think about trying to play this into a way that would give him basically infinite actions as well, because sacrifice plus 2 PP, and then, what was it this year? Yeah. This year, after using an active skill, grants the user plus 20% magic attack, grants the user plus 1 AP during the day, and plus he also gets buffed during the day anyway, since the angel character. So I gave him these, so he can use an active skill, and then he can just immediately get that AP back, and then use sacrifice to get more PP, and then just keep on using this and get as many phantom attacks as he wants. I guess I basically did give him an infinite setup here, as long as he doesn't sacrifice himself too low is the idea. So own HP is above 50%. Maybe I should set that to above 75% because he doesn't ever really guard when sacrificing, so it's not great. It's not the best setup, but yeah, he's mostly here for magic coverage while being able to do a little bit of magic damage himself. Galamir is here for a little bit of support, so we can do selfless heal at the end of battle after Chloe uses first aid, and then we get heals here for like the little smidge of health that we'll need here and there. Like with how defensive we're gonna be with Virginia and Fedokia supporting and Amalia in the middle, it's like we should be pretty good, so this will just help top us up. And then if we're actually in a pinch, someone is under 50% HP, then just relic heal them to restore HP and grant HP regeneration. Because yeah, you have 3 accessory slots, so sure, let's just slap that, and those are the things that you can do. I'm never gonna have you use Pure Field. Like, that's nowhere near as good as Iron Veil, so why would I do that? And oh yeah, I'm remembering now, this Penetrate to hit a column of enemies is going to be a guaranteed critical that is unguardable, and it's going to have Mystic Conferral on it, because it's going to go on to the person with the lowest crit rate during their first action. Even though that's a guaranteed critical, she counts as the one with the lowest crit rate, because with her equipment here, I specifically gave her the Wingcrest shield so I could set that up. Looks like her crit rate doesn't matter. And then I can also make sure that she's targeted by selecting the person with the lowest crit rate. I'm pretty sure she has the highest physical attack as well, so I could have always done that. But yeah, I can just make use of the extra PP and not care about the minus crit rate, because we get crit through other methods here. So yeah, Penetrate is going to attack with a guaranteed critical at this once she gets her first action, not necessarily at the start of battle. Her first action is going to be that on a full column, and it's going to have Mystic Conferral. So for her first action, for Galamir's first action, she's going to Mystic Conferral, which is going to go before Amalia, because her initiative here is 35. Hers is 8. Like, she's very, very slow here, and that is perfectly fine. So Galamir's first action, she's going to Mystic Conferral onto Amalia, so that her first hit hits like an absolute truck, even more so than it already is. And you have 3 AP, so you do that once, and then you can use an Icicle Arrow once to hit like 2 enemies, is the idea here. And then Chloe here, I gave her the Nameless Guard Spear, since we can just do that when there's scout enemies present, because that would be a weakness of this squad as well. It's just missing over and over again, so the idea is Chloe can just clean them up if need be. So there's like all these go for scouts, prioritize cavalry, because extra damage gives cavalry, prioritize scout, all that stuff there, just for a little bit of extra coverage. And then javelin if there's flying, because they might still be a little bit hard to hit as well. So Chloe is literally just here to buff up Amalia, while also helping with the heals to prot Galamir's thing, and giving us coverage against those pesky scouts, flyers, and cavalry to an extent here. They're not as important to take down, but hey, we get extra damage against them, so let's go ahead and do that. Also, this Chloe actually works extra well in a squad with Virginia, considering Hone Spear is plus 50 potency if the user is buffed. Everyone gets buffed at the start of battle, plus 50% guard rate and plus 30% physical defense. That is a buff. Everyone is buffed in that squad. So she's only going to get like 1 use of Hone Spear with 2 AP here. But it is going to hit really, really hard. And yes, indeedly do I am Emerald Finder. I'm going to sleep in my car. And I actually found a decently shady spot to park in, so it shouldn't be as much of a furnace in the morning when I wake up, is the hope. We shall see. Why, you think about coming by? I think that there's still some spots. I think. Just convince you to do that. Whoa. And sometimes I get input delay because there's so many signals going around here. But yeah, I'm gonna be here a while. Oh, there's just people tinkering around on the stage, and there's my other camera right now. I'll just leave that off for now. Don't need to see people's legs. And yeah, and there's gonna be Smash tournaments going on that I'm hosting, like today, tomorrow, and the day after, so I need to be here for these few days anyway. That I probably won't be able to show them all that well from here, because the secondary camera that I had on my desk before could have showed it better. But I have a bunch of 3D printed dragons there, and like a whole bunch over here that aren't quite as clearly visible anymore. I don't have my second camera, it's all the way on the stage to go pick up. I have a whole bunch of printed dragons to give away as prizes. I know that Snow Penguin that just redeemed absolutely nothing is here in the venue somewhere as well, way over there, but I haven't seen yet. So I have no idea what Snow Penguin even looks like. And then this squad is basically the same as I had it before, but with some different setups, essentially. Come say hi later. Okie doke, sounds like a plan. Yeah, this is the way that this is set up here. Play in the Smash tournament and win a dragon, plus whatever the sponsor provides. I don't know what it is. It's a mystery to me. Don't know what it'll be. So, yeah, and this is basically the same group, the same squad as before. Scarlet is back in here again. I briefly had her out in a different setup. I'm pretty sure I had her over here for a while, but then I swapped in Ramona and I put Scarlet back in here. Especially considering her start of battle thingamabob is really, really good. Grants all allies HP regeneration and plus 10% defense. This squad is definitely weak to magic attacks. There is a bow that gives a shield that gives like reflect magic, but then it gives you like no physical defense, and it's just kind of sucky and not super great. So this squad is definitely weak to magic for sure. I do have this, and I do have Saint's Barrier to ease the burden a little bit, If our HP is less than 50%, then reduce damage taken by an ally by 50% for one attack and prevents from being debuffed. Or if they're attacked magically, then just put up that barrier. So it's not like it's impossible for us to deal with magic users. Like, we do have a little bit of protection here, so if there's a squad with like one magic user, we'll probably be okay. We will be eating more damage than normal. But if there's like a whole squad of magic users, yeah, this is not the squad to use. This is the ultra defense squad. So these are my squads. These are my final builds that I've been playing around with. I mostly played around with this out when I was camping out at Rock Lake with my dad, which we couldn't stay out there as long as we were initially planning to because like fires in the country, in the province, in the country as well, but mostly in the province, since Rock Lake is just north of Jasper and Jasper is kind of on fire. So we kind of had to get out of there early, but that was a pretty all right, relaxing time. And I spent a decent bit of time out there making my final builds late at night. So I was like, hey, let's get the final builds made here. And then let's just use them at Fragapalooza and do like the final liberation battles is what I figured I would do here. So now here we are at Frag. Let's do some liberation battles and that'll be all the Unicorn Overlord stuff that I do during the stream. So yeah, that's the plan here.